afternoon, I decided not to do a day trip today. Although I've got a couple planned and it's supposed to be nice all week, although today is going to be the hottest day, which would make a better day for going back down to the beach. Oh, let's make sure the sound's off. Um, so in Foodie Beauty's latest video, she revealed that she was being filmed by somebody else while she was recreating that green door experience that happened like 10 years ago that FFG just retro reacted to last week. And a lot of the other React channels haven't quite picked up on that yet. That FFG actually played that last week. So if she's going live she usually goes live at like 3 Pacific. I'm sure she'll have a lot to say about it, is all I'm saying. Rose Thorn Reacts has a pretty good live stream. I'm not totally through it yet, where she goes through how Chantal has been courting feeders for a long time. Whatever. You know, I have really mixed feelings about this, like, because I also have very mixed feelings about, like, the sex worker community. On the one hand, I feel like you should be able to do what you want with your body. On the other hand, human trafficking goes hand in hand with sex worker activity. And so there's been a lot of, for me as a political activist, there's been a lot of activity around trying to prevent child marriage and kids on the streets and stuff like that. But then we have this very angry side of the sex worker trafficker industry who are like, no, I want to create an OnlyFans and I want to work in Hollywood and I want to subscribe to people one on one so I can take personal requests. Well, okay, I'm okay with that if that's what you want to do as a adult who is, doing it of their own volition. And but this is also very parallel to an area where kids get sucked into it and get pimped out on the streets or pimped out at Hollywood parties and stuff. So it grosses me out. But whatever, like, obviously, this is shit I wouldn't do. Um, but apparently, I'm not big enough to do what she's trying to do. My last weigh in, I weighed like 137. I actually picked up a little weight after the potassium drop, which is good. It's probably mostly water weight because I was getting very dehydrated from that potassium drop. But um, I'm thinner than I've been in many, many years since like the early aughts. And that's just not the lifestyle I would do. that's how she wants to. I don't know how do, you can be Muslim, which is one of the most strict religions in the world, right? While simultaneously engage in sex activity. I just don't know how you could do it. Tell me how you can do that, Chantel. So, anyway, her last video, you can see a shadow, not a shadow, but like a reflection in the window of the green door. And the green door is like a vegan restaurant where she wanted to recreate a video that she did like 10 years ago or something. And FFG just retro reacted it like a week ago. Hold up. I'm dropping things. FFG just like retro reacted this like a week ago. And basically, she did like a retro react. It's on her channel. You can find it. Where she was introducing certain characters to her live stream for the first time. And that was the retro react of it, was we were learning who Shmi was. We were learning who Pete's was. Um, and we were learning who it was, either Rima or Shannon, who went with her to the green door. And this was like 10 years ago. And she basically recreated the entire thing that FFG just played last week, where they go, they eat vegan, they sit down together, they have a conversation, they go out, they kind of look around, and then they come up on this alley. Her friend tells her that no, let's just keep walking to the car, and she had wanted to go down the alley. So this time she does the video where she doesn't have any conversation with anybody, but she has somebody else's glasses next to her plate. Certainly not hers. These are not her glasses. I don't know if they're Pete's. I don't know if they're Shmi's. I don't know if they're Aunt Phyllis. I have no clue. Okay? But they are not hers, because hers are round with attachments for the ear pieces. And they're readers. They're not even prescription, let's be real. So she recreates the going outside and looking out at the street. And then she goes to the alley and recreates that scene too, except this time she goes down the alley and shows that she's conquering her fears, you guys. She's conquering her fears. Okay, Chantal. Very traumatic. She's completely out of breath and says her friends. By the way, I want you to think of that logistically. Even if she's not in her own car, the Kia, which is quite small. Let's say she's in like a larger sedan. She's in the passenger seat. She's got the seat all the way back to fit herself in that sedan. Nobody can fit behind her. So top passenger count is 3. Because maybe somebody can sit behind the driver. So it's possible there was 3 people in that car. She's showing us like garage footage, parking garage footage with a pigeon nesting in the top of the garage. We are, wow, this is fucking exciting content there, Chantal. But anyway, it's going to be the hottest day today here in Southern California. It's supposed to be 75 in my neck of the woods. And I'm going to try and get a little sun while I'm hanging out at home. I think it was Pete's. And I think while she went down the alley to have her very dramatic moment, he went to whatever bookstore or comic book store or graphic novel store and hung out and checked it out, and saw if there was something he was interested in, because I highly doubt he was interested in any of the fucking soaps or anything else they did that day. Now, there's been also some speculation that this actually happened on Monday when she did the footage of her going to, what is it called? Tom Hardy's? Tom Harrison's? I don't know, it's a Canadian thing. So that she could get a bagel and show us how she could rip it apart like a Neanderthal because she can't even fucking eat a bagel like a human being. Um, and have a glass of OJ, which I doubt is in compliance with the diabetic diet. She keeps looking at everybody else's channels like mine. I have a potassium deficiency, so I need juice, right? Once in a while, I'll have some orange juice because it's high in potassium. But I don't have type 2 diabetes, Chantal. I have no issues with my blood sugar. I have no issues with my cholesterol. So when I eat eggs for the potassium and the protein, that affects me completely differently than it would you, a death fat diabetic. Anyway, I do have another date, well, two different trips planned. But today I think I'm gonna try and get some vitamin D and just like sit out here, not here, there. That's where I'm gonna sit. Just sit over there, get a little sun, and just chill out because I did a lot of walking over the last couple of days. If you haven't seen it, I've got two different live streams up where the first one I did a day trip to Laguna Beach. The second one I did a day trip to San Clemente. And I'll try and do a few of those types of things over the next few weeks as it warms up. I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of this, but I'm fairly certain it was Pete's. And somebody's glasses were lying next to her plate that did not belong to her. So whose glasses did they belong to? Have you ever seen Pete's like driving? Because both of them I think are nearsighted. So they don't have to wear glasses when they're up close to things. They have to wear glasses when they're driving, when they're trying to read something from afar, things of that nature. That's what nearsighted means. Because I have the same condition. That's why I only wear my glasses when I'm driving, or when I'm like doing karaoke, and I need to more carefully be able to read the lyrics because it's kind of far away on a screen. I'll wear them then too. But, um, hey Robert, how you doing? Oh God, it's happy Wednesday. Um, I'm not doing a long live stream, Robert. Here's one of good. I'm glad you're good. Here's one of the day trips that I was thinking about doing. I want to go to Dana Point, down to the harbor, and I'd like to. There is. I don't know if it's still there anymore because there's been so much erosion and stuff from the various storms and stuff. But there was, at least in the past, some ruins up on the cliffs from over 100 years ago that are from an old hotel that existed when Dana Point was just a small seaside harbor. I don't know if you guys remember this, but the Beach Boys included Doheny as part of one of their, I think it was like Surfing USA or something. They included Doheny Beach. And it was because back in the 50s they hadn't built the second jetty yet. And when they built the second jetty, they were able to expand the harbor a little bit. It's still a small harbor. It's still a small harbor, but they were able to expand it a bit. But by building that jetty, it broke the waves. And so it's not really a surf beach anymore, Doheny. It's more of like a day use park area, and it has shore break just like Capo Beach does, which is right next door. Don Robinson, one of the original members of from On Vogue, said hey to me. No kidding. And talk to me Facebook. Wow, that's so cool. I got in a fight with Ann Rice on election night, primary election night of 2016. She and I went back and forth, and I stopped following her because she kept telling us Bernie people we needed to just give up. Hillary has already won. And this is like the night before the California election, and we were like, what? We haven't even voted yet. What are you talking about? Well pronounced in Vogue. That was like high school for me, I think, on Vogue. What a man, what a, is that the right band? What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty, mighty man. Something like that. Wasn't it something like that? Can't remember. It was so long ago. That was a long ass time ago. What a man. It's a long ass time ago. On Vogue. I'll look it up later. I don't remember. Like, the early 80s was such a transitional period for music that um, you had like alt rock sort of transitioning into pop, like becoming popular music. Yeah, it's a Salt and Pepper song featuring On Vogue. Okay, so I'm not totally wrong, right? The song from 1993. Yeah, and I think it was used as a theme song for a sitcom that was starring Dabney Coleman. if I remember correctly. It's a long ass time ago, right? They had a weird transition of music that happened in the early 90s before grunge sort of took over the airwaves. And I totally was not into grunge. So I started getting into a lot of local, more underground stuff, like swing before it became more popular by the. Was it the Old Navy commercial that did that? That grabs the Brian Setzer remake of Jump and Jive, and they were dancing around in like cargo pants. They were like doing Lindy Hop in cargo pants, and they brought swing back for a couple of years, but like before that, it was like all underground. And so I was going to these tiny little dive clubs to watch small bands play. I remember seeing like Roll Crown Review play at like an industrial building in Costa Mesa. I saw them at the weirdest ass places back then. It was so funny. I remember going to the Lobster Festival in Long Beach with my friend, and we went to go see Roll Crown Review play with our lobster rolls, right? And I was wearing a paladin's jacket. Makes me look like a lesbian whenever I wear it. Everybody always thinks I'm a lesbian when I wear it. So I'm wearing this paladin's jacket, and we're at the Lobster Festival watching Royal Crown Review. And I get a tap on my back, and I turn around, and it's Tom Yearsley from the Paladins. He's like, "Nice jacket." I'm like, thanks. He makes all the merch, by the way. He personally makes all the merch. So I know he made my jacket. That was a cool moment. He was there with his kid. I follow his kid too. He goes by, he has an, I think, an Instagram account and a Facebook account, and I don't know how many other accounts. But I think he goes by like Candy of Cane because Tom Yearsley was married to Candy Cane, who was formerly a plus size corn star, if you will. And she's a beautiful woman. She used to do big band type stuff. When back in the 90s, we had a venue up in Huntington Beach, which is now the Buca de Bepos. But in the past, it was called the Rider Room. And on Wednesday nights, they had swing nights, and they would invite bands in that would be amenable to that type of dancing because there was an entire troupe that would come down from LA to. This is the same troupe that did the commercial. This is the same troupe that did the movie Swingers. Like, there is a troupe of swing dancers from LA. And they used to come down to this bar in Huntington Beach, and they would, partner up with people in the club and stuff. They drink water all night, so I'm sure that pissed the bar off because, like, what the fuck are you there for if you're not ordering drinks, right? I guess they considered themselves part of the entertainment, but whatever. Um, but how are you going to keep a bar open if you're not selling drinks? So, therefore, they ultimately closed. But anyway, Candy Cane used to play up there with her big band. I know Tom ultimately left the Paladins because the marriage was getting shaky and she was demanding that he spend more time on her career than his. And so he had to play, he played stand up bass. He used to play stand up bass in her big band, but then ultimately, I think they got divorced before any of this happened. I think they actually got divorced before any of this happened. But, and he reunited with the Paladins because I saw them at one of these other festival concerts that was out by Irvine Lake. And I asked him if he'd play a song, and he laughed at me. Oh my God, I don't even remember that song. And next thing I knew, it was in the rotation the next season. Thank you, Tom. Um, but ultimately, Candy came down with breast cancer, and she died of breast cancer. So his son has been basically doing his own music, which I can't remember if he also plays bass or if he plays guitar. I can't remember. I've seen him once down in San Diego because they're all based in San Diego. Um, I think that he has been dedicating like all of his music to his mom. It's really sweet, actually. It's quite sweet. But this is also another reason why I don't have like a total hatred towards sex workers. Like, if you have something that you're doing, but be real about it, be proud about it, be honest about it. Like, Candy was like totally open and honest about what she was doing. Chantel is trying to hide it because she also wants to be Pious Marian, right? Sorry, girlfriend. You can't be both. You can't be both personas. You got to figure out who you are and be that person. If you want to be the sex worker, then be the sex worker. If you want to be the modest, pious Marian, then be that person. Because it's pretty clear that is not the person you're trying to be, right? Katie Seagal. Hold up. Let me blow my nose. Katie Seagal was a backup singer on tour for Bette Midler from 1978 to 1973 before Married with Children. I love that it was Katie Seagal, right, that got some voiceover parts. She got some voiceover stuff. She was really able to move on with her career, but I do have kind of a funny Married with Children story, Robert. So when I went to Hollywood with High, and I cannot tell you if this is true or not. Okay, I can't. I can't tell you if this is true or not. But when I went to Hollywood High in the seventh grade, So this would have been 86, 87. I would have been 12, 13. This is right when married, which right when, okay, so while I was there, they, Fox bought out Channel 11. I think it was Channel 11, right? And their big advertising ploy was to change the Hollywood sign to say something about Fox. And so everybody who lived nearby, all we could see was like this Fox sign for like a week or so because they were advertising that they were introducing their new channel. And it was done, it was like a Sunday night, and they introduced two shows that night. One of them was the Tracy Ullman show, which had a cartoon short on it called The Simpsons, which ultimately got its own show, right? So The Simpsons was premiered as a short on the Tracy Ullman show. You can look this up. And then the second one was Married with Children. And they played both of these because they only had two shows. They played both of them twice in a row on Sunday night. And I found Married with Children absolutely obnoxious. But I found something very weird about it. I was looking at Peggy, and I'm like, God damn, she looks like my high school drama teacher. Like, exactly. Like the hair down to the spandex pants and everything. She looks exactly like her. And she has a daughter who's 1 year older than me, attending at Hollywood High, who looks exactly like Kelly, except a little fatter, not as pretty, you know. And so there was always this rumor going around that the divorce that she had just gone through was with the producer who came up with Married with Children. So we really don't know. Yeah, Christina Applegate was the actress who played the teenager, but I'm saying that she had a daughter who looked similar and acted similar and dressed similar, but was a little chunkier and not as pretty, you know. It was really weird. I mean, it could have been a coincidence, but this is all right in Hollywood. They all have connections. And she had just gone through a divorce with a Hollywood producer. And she apparently got no credit for this either, even though, like, apparently, like, she and her daughter were modeled after these characters. That's the rumor. That is the rumor. I'm just telling you. I mean, I was a little kid at the time, like I said. I mean, I was like 12 going on 13. So, no, I was older than that. This is high school. Hold up. This is high school? No, this was. No, no. Okay, this is a combination of memories between me being at Bancroft, which was the other performing arts school, and then a couple years later at Hollywood High. Hollywood High was my sophomore year. No, no. By my sophomore year, we're talking 10th grade, right? So that would have been 89, 90. That would have been 89, 90. So that's me 15 to 16. 15 to 16 while that was going on. Because she was my first drama teacher at Hollywood High. But I think the Fox channel actually started while I was at Bancroft. So it actually happened a couple years earlier, and then we got there and we're like, oh my god, why does our teacher look exactly like Peg Buddy? We're going through this and we're like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. Very bizarre shit going on. Right, right. It was weird. Anyway, you guys can go watch the latest commentary on Cheers lasted a long time. I think it actually might have even spilled into the 90s. Because remember, Frasier's arc got so good. Like, he became more and more embittered, and his comedy just, like, kept getting better. He's like, getting better and better. Yeah. My son decided one year to just like sit down and binge through the entire Cheers, um, all of them. And I was like, are you for real? You're really doing this? Are you for real? Oh my God. Like, I remember doing it as a kid, like watching it every week, but everybody knows your name. Norm! For real, Robert? What are you doing today? Are you going to go out and do something fun? Is it nice weather in your neck of the woods? It's 75 out here. Vanna White was a contestant on The Price is Right in 1980. Really? That's. Did she win? Did she win? I'm glad it's nice there. It's finally becoming like real spring where like we have nice weather, like blue skies and nice weather, you know? But I kind of did overdo myself over the last 2 days. So I'm gonna, not really, but she had fun. Okay, well, that's cool. You know, I've heard that a lot of the contestants on The Price is Right actually like refuse their prizes. Once they find out they actually have to still pay taxes on the prizes, they're like, maybe not. Maybe I don't need an RV. Maybe I don't need these quad rudders. You know, like when they find out that they actually still have to pay taxes on the prize winnings, they're like, they turn it down. That's what I've heard. Okay, I'm gonna figure out some lunch here. And let's see what else comes out today. I mean, then she joined Wheel of Fortune in December of 1982. Wasn't she? Did she also win some like beauty pageants or something before she even did that? Are they still doing it? Is she still there with Pat Sajak, or have they replaced them yet? They've been there since I was like a tiny little kid. No, I gotta run though. I gotta eat. I had the last of the deviled eggs this morning. But I need to have like a grilled cheese sandwich or something. Actually, that was part of my day trip planning. Maybe, I don't know what time it is. Maybe I'll still do it. Because I was thinking about going to the Harbor House. Let me think about this. Deviled eggs are a great source of protein and potassium, but they're not good for people who have cholesterol problems. So, sorry, Chantal. Your doctor told you not to eat eggs. You don't have the same diet as me. All right. Take care, y'all.